Hi, I'm Vivian Jimenez from the Tutoring and Academic Support Center at UB. The university offers a number of academic resources to assist you with your courses, including tutoring, mentoring, and workshops. It is particularly important to learn and implement effective study strategies early on in your academic career, such as note-taking, finding study groups, and preparing for exams in advance. To help you get started, let's hear from a few students on some ways they approach their coursework and study strategies they found to be most effective.
One of my favorite study strategies I personally use is paraphrasing. If I'm reading something out of, let's say, my chemistry textbook about a reaction, I'm not just going to read it and copy it down word for word. I'm not just going to also write it out in my own words, I'm going to say it back to myself. I'm going to say, this reaction occurs because this, that, and the other thing. When you bring it out into the world by speaking it out, you're committing it to memory and really learning it.
I'd say for me, I don't utilize one specific studying strategy. I feel like it depends on what class I'm taking, what the professor's like, and what the class content is like. For example, for a memorization-based class like psychology, I would like to utilize a lot of flashcards, whereas on another class such as economics, where there's a lot of analysis and application, I like to do a lot of the study problems. So I guess it really depends on what class I'm taking that I utilize specific studying techniques.
I definitely try and make a review sheet. And first and foremost, typing out your notes, I feel is really important because it'll automatically be organized, especially for people that don't have the best handwriting. So you could always copy and paste your notes and put that into the review sheet. I also really like to use Quizlet just because especially if it's a class where you need to memorize stuff, it helps you memorize key concepts.
I reinforce a lot of things I learned by simply writing it down the first time around, and then I'll type it my notes later, I'll create flashcards later. So it's utilizing the same exact information over and over again, but in many different forms.
Break something down into its parts. I feel that sometimes you can look at a lengthy calculus word problem and you're not going to know where to start. Break it down sentence by sentence, underline the numbers. Think, okay, what function might I need to use to get the answer?
To prepare for large exams, I like to look at my notes, so further in advance, so I'm not cramming and procrastinating, because honestly, you just get really stressed out and it's not productive in the end.
I find studying in groups to be helpful because the diversification of answers and processes of how to arrive at different answers helps me form a more well-rounded perspective on how to arrive at these answers and how other people arrive at these answers so that I'm more sure in the content that I'm putting forward when it comes to test day.
Initially, I like to study on my own first, and then once I know everything or feel like I have a pretty good understanding of everything, I like to reinforce it by studying in a group where if someone else has a question, I'm able to teach it to them or be able to see I actually don't know that question.
I think it is helpful to study in larger groups because if you don't understand something, someone in your group is bound to, so they can explain what you don't understand, and vice versa. If someone in your group doesn't understand something, you can explain that concept to them, and it's reinforcement for you, and you're helping the other person learn as well.
I would say if you're kind of sort of a mixed ability sort of tutoring group, someone who's really, getting hundreds and 90s on the exams, and then maybe somebody's doing 70s and 80s and they're on the way there, and maybe someone who doesn't really quite know something at all, then there's that sort of gradual increase of doing well in the class. So, pick your groups wisely.
One way I found study groups at UB is through this app called Navigate. Through Navigate, you're able to find study partners and people who are in your class, and you just reach out to them. It might be a little bit embarrassing or awkward at first because you've never met them before, but I feel like most people here are really receptive and really warm. So, usually when I reach out to them via email, we usually get to meet in person. I feel like being a part of a study group reinforces what I've learned so far, allows me to see what I don't know, and allows me to see what I do know. And last but not least, I feel like being in a part of a study group allows me to help my peers if they're struggling with anything.
You have what it takes to be academically successful at UB. Explore and utilize resources like study groups found in the Navigate student app or visit the Tutoring Center or Center for Excellence in Writing to connect with individuals who are ready to support you. Also, always keep in mind that it's never too early to develop stronger or more refined study strategies as your academic career progresses.